What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Midnight Draft, the show where we throw down over books and their movie version. No fancy debate, just vibes, laughs, and occasionally some passionate rants. I'm John, and tonight we're diving into the House Moving Castle. That's right, we're talking about both Studio Ghibli movie and the original book by Diana Wayne Jones. Same title, but these two could not be more different. Joining me are two absolute legends. We've got opinions ready to explode. First up, we've got Rian, reader, book fan, and the guy who's probably quoted the book in public more times than he's read the menu. What's good, Rian?
Hey everyone, I've been counting the days to this one. This story lives rent free in my brain.
And holding it down for the Ghibli squad, we've got CJ, longtime fan of all things animated, rewatcher of House Moving Castle at least once a month, and the proud owner of more Wizards-themed merch than is legally allowed. Yo CJ, what's up?
Man, I've been waiting to yell about this for years. Let's get into it. That movie is art, straight up, hand-drawn poetry.
Before we pick sides, let's rewind. How did you both stumble into the House Moving Castle in the first place?
So, I actually saw the movie first. High school. No idea what I was watching, then bam, Castle on Legs. Fire demon, cursed old lady. I was hooked. But when you told me there was a book, I had to track it down. And let me tell you, reading the book felt like discovering the secret, slightly unhinged older cousin of the movie.
Same here. I grew up watching the movie. I didn't even know it was based on a book until I saw a Twitter post. But yeah, reading it later, total curveball. It's like the book is funnier, weirder, and kind of messier. Not in a bad way though, it just hits differently.
It's funny, which one you experience first kind of become your canon. Like your brain goes, this is what House Moving Castle is. And then there's the other one, feels like it's from an alternate universe.
Totally. The book feels like chaotic good energy, and the movie's like calm neutral with sparkles. Both good, both magical, but so different.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad they are different though. It's just like getting two versions of a legend. Like Rian said earlier, but slightly different.
Let's talk about the real star of the show, the man, the myth, the melodrama, Howl himself. Rian, hit us with the book Howl.
Oh boy, Book Howl is hilarious. He's self-absorbed, he's messy, and half the time you're wondering how he's still alive. Like, he throws a fit because his hair dye is the wrong shade of blonde, and turns himself into slime, literal puddle of goo. But despite all that, or maybe because of it, he's incredibly human, charming but flawed.
He's like a magical frat boy with a secret heart of gold and a skincare routine.
Haha, meanwhile, in the movie How, he's way more composed, still a little extra. Don't get me wrong though, but there's a softness to him. He's more of a tragic figure than a chaotic one. Less diva meltdown, more gentle sadness. I think that's why people connect to him. He's mysterious and beautiful.
Right? Like in the movie, he vanished mid-scene like Batman. In the book, he's more likely to vanish because someone offered him emotional commitment.
Exactly. He's emotionally constipated in the funniest way. But he grows, you know? By the end of the book, we see this layered, vulnerable person under all the bravado.
Same in the movie though. It's just handles that growth differently. His transformation is visual and emotional. He literally gave up his heart, like his actual heart. That's kind of big.
So, gun to your head. Book Howl or movie Howl?
Book Howl. I want all the chaos. I want the petty arguments and the accidental black slime floods.
Movie How. He can turn into a bird monster and still look fabulous. That's talent.
I'm with both of you. Book Howl is the friend you take on a karaoke night. Movie Howl is the one you write such poetry after a breakup. Different moods, to be honest. Let's pull back and talk themes. Rian, what's the book really about to you?
It's definitely about identity. Sophie believes she's ordinary and boring, and that belief literally curses her. That hits. It's not some big external villain, it's her self-doubt. But as she becomes this cranky old lady, she gets weirdly freer, like aging backwards in terms of confidence. It's beautiful.
That's such a good point. The movie sort of flirts with that idea but doesn't dive deep. It's much more about war, about destruction, fear, the cost of apathy. Miyazaki rewrote the message, and I think that's powerful in its own right, especially when you consider the time it came out. It was his personal response to real world conflict.
And it changes the stakes, right? The book is emotional and internal. The movie is epic and external.
Totally. I miss some of the book's intimacy in the movie though. You lose a bit of Sophie's inner world. In the book, you're practically living inside her head.
True, but I'd argue about the visuals in the movie. Replace some of that, you feel her uncertainty in the animation. The lighting, the way she walks slower when she's older, Ghibli's really good at quiet storytelling.
So maybe it's not about one being deeper, it's just different lenses. One zooms into the one heart, and the other zooms out to the world. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about conflict. Like who or what are the characters even fighting against? Because let's be real, the movie and the book have very different takes on what count as the big bad.
Yeah, and in the book, it's very clear early on. It's the Witch of the Waste. She's straight up terrifying, like she literally curses Sophie, kidnaps people, and is this looming threat the whole time. She's not just an obstacle, she's the villain.
True, but in the movie, not so much. Ghibli's Witch of the Waste shows up strong, then just kind of fizzles out. Like she gets up some stairs, loses her powers, and suddenly she's a comic relief in a rocking chair. It's kind of wild how fast she gets sidelined.
And that's where Madame Suleiman steps in, right? She's the new antagonist, sort of, but even then, the movie biggest villain is war itself. It's less evil with a plan, and more like what violence does to the world.
Which is a huge shift. The book doesn't really have that political layer. It's more focused on personal stuff. Curses, self-worth, emotional messiness. The conflict is much more character-driven.
Right, and Miyazaki takes that foundation and builds this whole anti-war allegory on top of it. You've got bombings, flying machines, soldiers, it's intense. It puts Howl in a different light too. He's not avoiding responsibility because he's immature, but because he's actively resisting being used by the system.
So you're saying in the book, Howl's a flake? In the movie, he's a draft dodger with a purpose. That's kind of brilliant.
Exactly. I mean, I love the book's Witch of the Waste because she's complex and genuinely threatening, but the movie isn't going far, that it's trying to say something bigger. It just means Sophie's journey gets tangled up in that bigger message.
And that's the trade-off. You lose some personal tension, but gain a broader, more symbolic conflict. It's less about her curse and more about everyone's trauma, you know?
So what hits harder? Personal stakes or world-shaking themes?
For me, personal, every time. The book made me feel like I was Sophie, trapped in her own doubt. That lands way harder than generic war visuals.
I get that, but I think the movie's ambition is kind of amazing. It's not afraid to reframe the whole story to say something real about humanity that takes guts.
So whether it's a witch with a grudge or a world at war, both versions are fighting something, just in totally different ways. And honestly, that's what makes comparing them so good. Okay, why do you think Miyazaki made such big changes?
I think he saw something in the bones of the story and said, "This is cool, but I have my own story to tell." And honestly, respect. As a book fan, I miss some things, but I get it. Adaptation doesn't have to mean photocopying.
Exactly. Plus, Miyazaki's always been political in a quiet way. The war themes, the environmental undertones, those are just part of his DNA as a filmmaker. He didn't just want to adapt the story, he wanted to respond to the world.
So the movie is not just an adaptation, it's a conversation.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, a remix with its own message, its own poetry.
And both versions end up saying something real. That's the magic.
Alright, time for the final face-off. Book or movie? What's the ultimate version?
Book, no hesitation. It's messier, it's funnier, and Sophie's growth hits me every time. Plus, Calcifer is hilarious in the book. Way more sassy.
I gotta go with movie. The visuals, the soundtrack, the dreaminess of it all. It's just comfort for the soul. I love the way it feels even when nothing's being said.
Still can't decide, book gives me more layers, but the OST from Joe Hisashi we make a shopping list sound profound. They're both special in different ways. Alright, listeners, we're tossing the mic to you. Which version cast the strongest spell? Hit us up on socials and send a voice memo or drop a review. We want to hear which howl lives in your moving castle. Huge thanks to Rian and CJ for being here today and bringing the heat.
This was the best. I could go another hour easy.
Same here, bro. Let's schedule the Caroline episode next. I've got thoughts.
Ooh, that's a whole different kind of creepy. Can't wait. Thanks to everyone listening. Subscribe, review, tell your friends. And remember, whether it's a book magic or movie vibes, always keep your heart somewhere safe and maybe don't eat bacon cooked by a fire demon. Peace out.